All right, this is the next installment of our adult Kenpo karate program. And today we're not going to really have a workout per se. So if you need to warm up, go ahead and stop the video right now and do your warm up and start it again once you feel that you're adequately warmed up, because our warm up is going to be very minor. As always, I want you to like and share this video and post a comment down below how you like the class or how the concepts that we're going to teach today, or maybe even a short video of you working some of the material. It's a great way for us to stay connected, and that's really important during this time. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to bring in Mr. Clark.
Sir.
Is here today. Sir. All right, so let's bow in. Ready? And slip. All right, just a little warm up. But like I told you, if you need to thoroughly warm up, go ahead and stop the video and take care of that business and then jump back in. So from here, just legs apart or feet apart and just work those circles. Get those hips warmed up a little bit. Very good, and feet together. Go ahead and do about 20 jumping jacks just to get yourself warmed up. Ready on your mark, get set, and go.
1, 2,
Count and move and make sure we're going all the way up, all the way down. If you have any shoulder issues, just come halfway up and come down. Just do those half jacks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20.
All right. Okay, so extent of our warm-up today. What we're going to work on today is we're going to work on a little bit of concept about things that should matter to you as you're working your material. Stance is a big part of that. Everything that you build from your foundation requires a strong foundation for it to be strong once it's done, right? You can't build a house upon the sand because it will fall. Likewise, when you're moving and you're in a dynamic fashion, if you don't have stability in your stance and your transition, everything you're trying to accomplish is going to be minimized. To mitigate that problem, we need to focus occasionally on what we're doing in our lower art. So right now, as you can see on the mats, I'm going to have Mr. Clark get his front toe, rear heel, please. Now, I know that we know how to do stances, but I would like to go over again how we check our stances. Okay? Checking your stance is important. We need proper width, we need proper depth. Now, the width of our stance is that front toe, rear heel, this alignment. If you can see the line that's on the floor here, Mr. Clark has a great front toe, rear heel alignment. But I'm going to give you another visual, which is this. Okay, so if you'll notice, the stance that Mr. Clark has, his front toe is on one side of the staff, and the rear heel is on the other side of the staff. And this is the part where people get confused. A lot of times when they do their stances, so go ahead and stand at attention and we'll lose that staff. So keep that back here, thank you. So a lot of times when people do their stances, it's kind of like they're on a skateboard. Go ahead and pretend you're riding a surfboard or a skateboard. Throw your hands up. All right. So a lot of times when I see people in stances, especially after transitioning from technique or movement, this is what they look like. They're on that skateboard. They're on that surfboard, right? For him to have proper stability, he needs to be off the board. So go ahead and stand right here. Let's go ahead and face this direction. Get back on that board, facing me, please. Okay, let's face the other way, sorry. Okay, so on this board, he has balance. He's not falling down, but is he stable? So the hands are up. So when I come to push him and he pushes back, he's very unstable, right? And again, go ahead and give your stance again, ride that board, okay? He, again, balanced, he's not falling down, but when force meets force, he's going to lose. Okay, go ahead and get that front toe, rear heel. So in this stance, as I go to push him, he's a lot stronger. All right, however, let's go ahead and scoot back all the way over here for me. I'm going to give a longer distance, maybe too long, but here we go. Get that front toe, rear heel, nice and strong. Okay, so if you look here, he's got a good front toe, rear heel alignment, a good stance. Boom, check it. I want you to move that toe a half inch in any direction. Thank you, push. Yay, a little unstable. I pushed a little hard. Sorry about that.
Sorry, sir.
Wasn't ready for that one.
Sorry, sir.
So, that good front toe rear heel is what we're looking for. So we're going to step back up here, sir, back on the center line. So whatever you have to do in the area that you're working out, a simple piece of tape on the ground, your bow staff, or the straight line of tile, or in this case our mats, it'll give you a good guide for that front toe rear heel, which is the width of your stance. Sir, good front toe rear heel, please. Now, to check proper depth, he's going to bend that back knee and make sure the tip of his back knee is aligned with the tip of the front heel. And up. Very good. Go ahead and jump back on the same line, facing that direction, sir. Right leg back. Nope. Face this way. I'm sorry. Right leg back. Back on the line. All right, and demonstrate bending that knee again. Okay, maybe we need to scoot back just a little bit. I'm wondering if they can see. There you go. Right here. And bend. Very good. Okay, so now he has checked the depth of his stance. All right, feet together. So the drill that we're going to do is after you've found that seam or you have that tape on the ground, go ahead and get in your fighting stance, right leg back. Ready, go? Okay, now when I say switch, Mr. Clark is going to switch, and we're going to check that stance. We're going to see if you maintain that alignment. Ready? And switch! And check your stance. That was good. Good front toe rear heel. Good depth. That must be why you got 2 stripes on your belt. Ready? Sir. And switch! Very good. Check your stance. Ah, okay, not bad, not bad. All right, ready and switch, and check. Mr. Clark has done this before. Let's make this a little more harder. Let's put a little hot sauce on this, add a little chaos. So now 2 switches, 1 command, switch, switch, back to the original position. Ready and switch, oh, and drop that knee. Ah, the depth could be, it was a little wide, right? Yeah, you felt it. Ready? When I say switch, do it again. Ready and switch, very nice, check that stance. Ah, not bad, not bad. Very good. Ready and switch. And check that stance. Yeah, back heels off a little bit and feet together. Sir. So this is a simple exercise that will help you develop a strong foundation in your stance. You don't have to spend, 20 minutes doing this. But it's a great warm-up. It's something that you can visualize. You give yourself that stripe, that seam, that visual reference for that front toe rear heel, and then you check that depth. You want to make sure that you are stable, your foundation is strong. So every movement that we build, whatever it is, every kick, every combination, is starting from that stable platform. And that's what we're looking for. Now, this is a review week for adults, meaning you should, whatever level you're on, you should be reviewing your techniques. We're going to work on how you should be reviewing these techniques to maximize your benefit. Now, the thing I don't want you to do, depending on how long you have to work out, depending on whether you're working from home or what your situation is right now, I don't want you to feel that you have to run an entire chart or an entire level. Take small bites out of these things and spend some quality time working the techniques. So we're going to start with a very simple technique that everybody knows. Let's do inward blocking defense, sir. This is a lower level technique that all of us can do. But just like in the way we speak, our language of martial arts is our movement. Different words in our language have a different amount of syllables, a cadence in which we say them. Right? So does your movement. The way we learn the movement in its entirety is we break it down, break those syllables down step by step. So something as simple as inward blocking defense can have more than 1 syllable, and most of them do. In this case, if I break it down, I'm going to break it down by stepping back to the left. 1, raise my hand, 2, transition hips, 3, 4, open the hand, 5, 6, and cover. So I just took a simple inward block chop for a right punch or grab or a left punch or grab, depending on where you're at on your line. And I broke it down into 6 syllables. So again, let's do it again. So I'm here. I'm going to step back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, cover. So we want to start to develop the intensity and the rhythm and the way we speak. Right? So how the tone of voice starts to matter when we speak. Because I can say the word no, and I can mean it, no! Or I can say no, and it doesn't sound like I really mean it, right? It sounds more like, I'm not sure. And when you do a technique physically, the way you move, it can be strong, it can have that black belt attitude, or it can be less than that. And it's up to you to decide where you want to be with that. So as I start to develop this power, how I'm going to say this technique, this tone of the technique, I start to combine my movements. Whereas I was before, 1, 2, 3, 4, I might be 1, 2. Ready, let's do that together. And 1, 2, and 3. I just cut the technique in half. And by doing so, I'm going to face this way. I go from a simple expression of a technique to where I'm looking at my technique and pattern, and I'm starting to add intensity to it. depending on whether you do it here. All right? Lots of different expression of the technique. So I'm starting to develop power. I'm starting to develop an explosiveness in the technique. I'm starting to find that dynamic tone that I'm looking for in my movement. So when you do the technique again, from here, just 1, 2. So I'm here, 1, 2. Cover. Let's do it again. Ready? And 1, 2. And cover. And do it again. So this time I'm going to have you do it with black belt attitude. Go ahead and face this way for me. And we're blocking defense. Ready? And hit! That's it. Go ahead and face this direction for me, please. Nope, other direction. Thank you. Ready? And hit! Very good. And now as I'm developing that power, I think to myself, okay, what do I do to make this even more intense? Obviously, I'm creating distance. The person comes out, boom, I'm getting that block. Well, shuffle in and take it. So add a little bit more intensity to it. So as I'm striking, I find my power, and then I shuffle in, boom, and I drive that shot, right? And express it. Use that ki. Let's do it again. So face that direction. This time when you strike, shuffle in with that. Let's make it a little more intense. Ready? Hit! That's it. Let's do it again. Ready? And hit! Very good. Feet together. So now physically, I'm starting to say, okay, I'm feeling the dynamics. I'm starting to break down. I took my technique and I deconstructed it and I found all the syllables of my movement, right? So I learned it phonetically. Now I understand what I'm doing. Now I started to find my tone, my cadence, and I'm shortcutting those, and I'm finding my voice. I'm getting that intensity. I'm shortcutting the syllables so that the language flows well, the movement flows well, and I'm finding my tone, my intensity. And I'm starting to heat this thing up. So the concept of what I'm doing, I'm deconstructing a technique and then putting it all back together so that I can examine it and find out how to do this. So the concept of the technique again, okay, now I've done this, I've found the language. Think about the other side of the technique. What is it for? That should be a simple question. Inward blocking defense is for the punch, right? Textbook-wise, right punch, right leg lead. But we know that it can be for more than that. So now that I know it's a punch, so somebody's coming in punch. Do people usually throw one punch? No, sir. No, right? That combination might be flying. So this opens the door to the technique. Now, when you don't have hands-on expression, meaning that someone's doing it, we're not going to do it hands-on together because you may not have someone to do it at home with. So I don't want to give you those type of things that you need to do. But what I do want to give you is the thought process. So if this person is punching at me, obviously he's attacking me. I want to stop the attack. Where does the attack stop? At what point in my expression of inward blocking defense does the guy's desire, or the person's desire, to attack me cease? Because that's really what we're trying to defeat. The block, the chop, the punch is not the problem. The problem is the person's will to do it, their desire to hurt me. So how do I stop that desire? How do I end that thought process in that individual? Well, how you apply this technique might be the answer to it. Meaning when someone punches you, people think block, strike. Whereas my first strike is there. So I am limb destruction, hit, and then secondary strike. 1, 2, 1, 2. So now, because I'm examining the attack, how do I end it? And where is my application of power? Where is that first strike? What are these things actually doing? Movement is as you intend it to be. So a block does not have to just be a block. All right, how many of us have ever just bumped our hand walking on a doorknob in the house? Ooh, and we numb the hand because we got on our own nerves, right? Or that we hit that bone in the elbow, or we struck our ulna or radial bone on something hard, and we're like, ow, or just that funny bone in the elbow, and it just took away the ability to use that arm. Our whole focus became about what just happened and how we're suffering from it. So when I'm doing my inward block, that's the concept. My first strike is here. I want this to hurt. So when I'm blocking, I want them to know that they've been struck on their arm, and that concept is going to take away from the desire to strike me again because what they're dealing with is overwhelming their sensory perception, right? So boom, here. That's how I'm thinking about it. So when I practice my technique, that's the concept that I'm working for. So when we're practicing this technique, sir, you face me, I'll face you. When I say go, we're just going to step back and do that first block. Ready? And hit. Okay, now boom, settle it. Let's do it again. So it comes from here. Everybody start from here. Step back, wham, settle it. We've done this before in this class. Ready? When I say hit, limb destruction, drives it. Ready? And hit. And then you're going to shuffle in and drive the chop. Now I'm going to offset so we don't clank swords here. Ready? And hit. Boom, drive and cover. Again, I'm settling that punch. Ready? Or that block, that strike. Ready? Hit. That's it. Driving it in. Using that voice to add power and intensity. We're going to put a little density in that intensity. Ready? Jump to the center, sir. So now we're going to do inward blocking defense 3 times. Slow, medium, on fire, right? I want you to give me that black belt attitude. So slowly, practicing the concept of limb destruction, drop it, pop it. Ready? And hit. Good. Feel that snap, right? I'm generating a lot of power as I fight in this phone booth here. Ready? Sir. Meaning I don't need a lot of space to develop power. So that settling movement as I settle my weight and I settle my shot is what we're looking for. Ready? Sir. And go. Good, all right. Let's put it a little more intensity now. Let's get that medium shot. We're starting to look and feel more like a black belt. Ready? And hit. All right, let's give that as if this happens for real. And whether you have 8 stripes on your black belt, 2 stripes, 1 stripe, or not even a black belt yet, get that black belt attitude. Do it as if you were already a black belt at a mastery level. Ready? Sorry. And go! Feet together. Sir. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Sir. Thank you for your help today. So, a long lesson on inward blocking defense. The purpose of this is so that you can take the concepts and the things we talked about and apply it to the rest of your art. That's really what we're trying to do, is give you something that you can apply to the rest of your art, the rest of your techniques. There is an art within your art, your techniques, your stances, your drills. All of this can give you a wondrous amount of variety in depth if you know what to look for. And the way you know what to look for is you just start looking. Sometimes it's through experience. Sometimes you've been in the art long enough to where you gain the experience and you kind of have a sense of where you're going so you know what to do. Other times you're just like a miner looking for gold. You're just digging in the dirt and you're sifting around until you find something shiny, right? And that's all we're asking you to do. Don't think of your art as a race to the end, because black belt is truly only the beginning. It is a trophy, the belt around your waist, but it is not your art. Your art is what's inside. So take the time to explore that. Feet together. Hands up. All right, so thank you again, sir. All right, as always, like and share the video. This video is more in depth, so if someone's not a martial artist, if you think that they'll get value from it, please share it. I think learning the concepts of how and why we do what we do is important. So, like, share, post a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of today's lesson. Or post a video of that black belt expression of inward blocking defense. Everything you do, be safe, have fun, and God bless. See you soon.